Hello people, welcome to a new video of React. Today I'm gonna show you how to render lists in React. I'm gonna show you how to use the key attribute efficiently in a way so you won't have bugs in the future. We're gonna have examples with index and with object ID used inside the key. We had the previous example in the previous video, but today I'm gonna explain it to you better. Okay, so rendering lists is easy to do in JSX thanks to an array method called map. When you call this on an array, you can have it run through all the items in that array and do something interesting with them. So we have this array method. So we have an array of numbers and it will use map, so it goes through each item and it uses times 2. 1 times 2, 4 times 2, 9 times 2, and it will return an array with the values changed. So we want to do this in React so we can return HTML with the data inside the array. Okay, so we have the users array here, and at the moment we are showing the first user's name, the second user's name, and the third user's name. But if this array would have like 50, it will be awkward to use it like this. So we need to go through each object inside the array and map it. So we are going to destructure first inside the render method the users from state. This dot state. And now we can use it here. So we have users dot map, and we're going to go through each object inside the array, and we have each user here, and we are going to return, let's say, an input first, or a paragraph, let's say paragraph. So we have user dot name and age, user dot age, and now it's fast and it iterates through each object and returns a paragraph. But now we want to use, for example, keys, because we will have an error here. We'll say each child in the list should have a unique key prop. So keys help React identify which items have changed, are added, or are removed. So keys should be given to elements inside the array to give elements a stable identity. So I'm not recommending using indexes for keys, for example. We have the second parameter in the map, it's the index. So the first object will have the index 0, the second object will have the index 1, and the third object will have the index 2. So to get rid of this error, we should use index here, right? But now, if we use indexes for keys, if the order of the items change, this can negatively impact performance and may cause issues with component state. So this key is the only thing React uses to identify DOM elements. But what happens if you push an item to the list or remove something in the middle? If the key is same as before, React assumes that the DOM element represents the same component as before, but that is no longer true. And this can cause some bugs. So for example, let's use here an input, right? Placeholder, let's use a placeholder, user.name. So it had it here, and let's use some style, right? Let's display block and let's measure margin bottom of 0.5. Okay, and now we'll use the key, and index will send each index inside the key. Now we got rid of the error. But what if we push the items at the beginning of the array? So let's make a button first. Button add user. We're gonna use onClick and make this dot add user method. Now let's create the add user method. So add user error function. So let's get the users array. Let's use object assign to copy it. This.state.users. Okay. And now we will unshift, we will push to the beginning of the array a new object with the name, let's say another user, active true and age 20. And now we are gonna use set state and we're gonna update the users with the ones we pushed. Okay, and now if we type here 1, 2 and 3, and if we add the user, you see that the David, Alex and John, the values we put here are no longer here, because React assumes that DOM element represents the same component as before, because this is the index 1, this is the index 0, 1 and 2. But if we use, for example, the ID, let's say ID 1, ID 2, ID 3, and we're gonna send an ID here, and let's use the mat random one so we can generate a random ID. And now if we are sending the user ID here inside the input, React will know that it's not the same component anymore. So if we add an user, you see the paragraph remains the same. So these keys used within arrays should be unique among their siblings, but they don't need to be globally unique. So we can use another array, we can map another array with the same keys, but an item should not have duplicate keys. It will throw an error if you have that. Okay, so this is how you map an array, how you render a list, how to use keys. And in the next video we are going to show you how to render components here inside the map method, and how to send the actual user as props inside the component so we can render it in the different component. So that would be it for this video. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe. If you have a question, please ask in the comments, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.